Hi there, I'm Kristen with Light Healing and Bodywork. This video is about your feet and your ankles. So stretching, strengthening, just overall getting them moving. When you're ready, let's get started. All right, we're going to begin sitting in a comfortable cross-legged seat for this one. And I'd also like you to have near you like a stretchy band or a belt or something like that. We're going to use that for the beginning of our practice. So let's bring our feet apart a little bit into this, it's called Cobbler's pose. And that means just the soles of your feet are touching. So we're going to bring our hands to our feet and nice tight tummy here. Pull that belly button in and up, but bring the rib cage down. Keeping that together. Strong core. I'm leaning forward a little bit. And then we're going to introduce some movement in our hands for the feet. So starting to kind of maybe open the soles of your feet a little bit towards the ceiling so you can see them, just kind of stretching and mobilizing the bones of the feet. And then go ahead and start doing a little bit of self-massage here. So getting your thumbs really into those tissues, or being very gentle if that's what your body needs. Just kind of work around the tissues. Be curious about your own body. Be curious about what's going on in there. Is there anything that's particularly stiff? That may be causing some pain or discomfort or imbalance even. So just kind of work your way around there and see if you can feel any areas that are maybe more rigid. And you can do two hands on one foot, kind of moving it around. Just make sure you get both feet. You can even just kind of twist your foot a little bit. That helps to mobilize the bones in there. Working the plantar fascia, the ball of the feet, even your toes. Just kind of give them a little pull. And don't forget about your heels. I like to just kind of squeeze the heel. It's so gets so compressed in the heel. So if you just kind of squeeze from the bottom of the heel, that pulls the skin just a little bit. All right, and when you feel you've done enough of this, we're going to come into step pose. So that means your legs are out long and your hands are just slightly behind your sit bones. And you have straight knees here. Bring your shoulder blades up and then down your back. Press your hands into your yoga mat and gently lift your spine. Lift your body up off of the yoga mat just a little bit. And then we're going to maintain this position as we move the ankles around. You can do them in the same direction, moving at the same time. One way and then the other. You can go opposite directions. You can write the alphabet. Just introduce a little bit of movement through the feet and really try to stretch them to end ranges without causing yourself any pain. Just nice active motion here. I lost my staff pose. So remember to keep your hands pressed into the ground. Shoulder blades together down your back. Core nice and engaged and strong. Ankles moving. You should feel this in your calves too. Maybe even in your hamstrings if they're a little tight. All right, let's make our way all the way onto our backs. And then bring the palm of your hand into the sole of one foot, palm of the left hand into the sole of the right foot. And then we're going to stretch our knees a little bit straightish and just try to relax through the hamstrings. You might notice a little bit of trembling here. If you need to back off, that's absolutely okay. And then we're going to let one leg go down. So let's let the left leg go down first. And then here's where your strap's going to come in handy. So put the strap around the ball of the foot, the right foot, and then take the other end in your hand and just kind of hold on to that as you get a straight knee. A little bend is absolutely fine if your hamstring's really tight. Just do so that you feel a moderate to strong stretch. So sometimes the hamstrings can be really tight, and that causes tension all the way down the leg and then the calf and ankle. You can pull your toes towards your knee, and that will stretch your gastroc and soleus, the calf muscles. And we can even introduce a little bit, depending on your strap. Mine's really rolly. But you can even introduce a little bit of movement here by pointing your toes towards the ceiling and then relaxing back down. Pulling them towards the ceiling, relaxing back down. Try to maintain a nice straight knee, so you're still stretching your hamstrings as you do this. And you might notice my ankle's kind of shaky. That means it's weak, so I definitely needed to do this today. Thank you, Lord, for putting it on my heart. And if you notice, sometimes your ankle is kind of wavering side to side as you go up and down, just try to slow your motion down and control it a little bit more. So this is really important retraining for your nervous system, for you to take that extra attention and then extra effort to control that motion. That will carry over into some pretty important walking and balance type stuff. All right, cool. We're going to let go of the strap, and we're just going to bring the foot across towards the left shoulder, and you can have your right hand kind of guide your knee. I do suggest you keep your toes active, so that means pulling them towards your shin, your knee, and just keeping that foot kind of up like so. So we're going to do a little bit of stretching through the hip and the thigh, and just move your knee around to where you feel a pretty good stretch. And I feel this one right here on the side of my thigh, my side of my hip. And I'm just going to hold this here for a little while and stay attentive to what I'm feeling through my shin and my ankle and my foot. And while I'm here, I think I'd like to bring my hands to my shin and do a little self-massage through here too. The fibers of the shin muscle go up and down along the bone. And I'm going to do just a little cross friction across those muscles to help them relax all the way down from the knee to the ankle. And I feel a little bit more tension towards my ankle, so I'm going to work a little extra right there. Sometimes even just having that little bit of touch to the muscle is all that your body needs in order to recover, to heal. Also going to get a little bit through the back of the calf muscle. Noting any areas that might be more tender or tense, and still trying to maintain the stretch through my hip. I don't feel that so much anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and switch sides, grabbing my strap, putting it on my toes with the ball of my foot. Now right leg goes out straight, left one goes up in the air, and just kind of feeling here for the stretch through the hamstrings. Letting the ankle relax and then pushing the toes up towards the ceiling, Slowly and mindfully coming back, pushing the toes up, relaxing. It's not unusual for the two different sides of the body to feel a little bit different. One usually is either stronger or more stretched than the other side. That's pretty normal. I'm not really counting here, so just do what feels right for your body. And then I'm just going to release that for a moment. Bend the knee, grab the strap. And then I'm going to pull the left foot towards the right shoulder and see where I can guide my knee across the body to get a good stretch around the left buttock, left lateral thigh, outside of the thigh. And then here, if you'd like, introduce a little bit of a massage to the outside of the shin. Those muscles there tend to get kind of tight and knotted up. If there's any areas of tension, you can always just pause there, send a little extra love there. Try to maintain the stretch through the buttock, through the thigh as you're doing the self-massage. All right, so let's plant our feet on the ground, and then let's bring our arms overhead. Inhale, and then with an exhale, we're going to tuck everything. So tuck the chin towards the chest, lift the head up, bring the hands overhead, and then let them continue to guide you up forward as you use your abdominal muscles and bring your hands towards your ankles. Then we're going to cross our legs, roll all the way through, hands to the yoga mat, and then bring your feet back behind you. We're going to come up onto all fours here. Then from here, we're going to keep our sit bones going back towards our heels. And this can be pretty intense. So your toes are tucked under and ankles are lifted up. Try to just walk your hands back towards your knees. Nice tight tummy here to support your back, support your spine. And if this is a strong enough stretch for you here, please stay here. And if you would like to feel a little bit more stretch through the soles of your feet, walk your hands up onto your thighs and see if you can come all the way into sitting. Nice long spine here. Lift your chest. Bring your head back so it stays over top of your shoulders. And breathe. This one can be pretty challenging to stay in. Just do the best you can. If you need to come out at any time, please absolutely come forward. Most important thing, always, is to listen to your body. And then if you haven't come forward yet, please bring your hands forward. Plant them in the front of your yoga mat. Toes tucked under. Lift your knees, hover them up above the yoga mat, maybe an inch or two off of the yoga mat. Hover and hold, nice tight tummy, strong back, long spine. Lift your head towards the ceiling, but don't look up. And then as you exhale, lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling into a downward facing dog. From here, we're going to pedal the feet, which means bend one knee and then the other. And just going to introduce a little bit more stretch through the hamstrings and the ankles and the feet. Nice and easy. It should feel comfortable, moderate to strong stretch, not too intense, please. And then when you're ready, come to stillness. Stillness is still active, so we're still lifting our sit bones up towards the ceiling. We're still engaging our abdominals. We're still pressing our hands into the yoga mat and driving our shoulders away from the spine. This is still work. And then when we're ready, we're going to come forward, walking the feet up towards the hands, lifting onto the fingertips whenever you need to. And then we're going to keep our movement going through the spine. So inhale, bring the arms out to the side, squeeze the buns, squeeze the belly, and stand up. And then I'm going to turn and face you, but you can stay here at the top of your mat. We're going to work in mountain pose a little bit. So bring the big toes together so they're alongside each other. And heels can be either touching or a little bit apart, just depends on your anatomy. So from here, we want to think about where we're putting the weight through our feet. So I suggest using the 3-point analogy. So the ball of the big toe is 1 point, the ball of the baby toe is another point, and then the heel is the 3rd point. So you have these 3 points on each foot, and you're thinking about pressing evenly into those 3 points on each foot, which is also even. So let's spend a moment here just trying to get ourselves to place our weight in the appropriate places on the feet. And notice how that feels. Notice through your body if that helps encourage you to stand up taller, to keep your chest lifted, shoulder blades down your back. If you can bring your chin back towards your throat, head elongated towards the ceiling. Just notice what that does for you. And if you tend to, after you lose your attention for a moment, if you tend to go to one side or the other, or to one of the 3 points on the foot more than the other, just notice. And then let's try a little experiment. So let's try activating the muscles of the outer legs to, it's almost like we're pulling the legs apart. So it's like you're trying to separate your feet apart from each other by activating the outside muscles of the legs and thighs. Now your feet aren't actually going anywhere. There's not actual step or anything like that. It's just a spreading, an energetic spreading or an isometric activation of those muscles, the outside of the legs and thighs. And just notice what you feel when you do this. And then let that go. You can bend your knees a little bit, work that out. And then another tool I'd like to educate you about is, it's called the foot screw. So it's when you bring your heels in and then your forefoot comes out. So it's like you're trying to rotate your feet, heels going in and forefoot coming out. It's like an opening of the feet forward. For some reason I'm getting the idea of a blooming flower. So just kind of rotating like that. Again, not moving. This is isometric. So you're just using the resistance of your body against the yoga mat to activate certain muscles and muscle groups. And notice what happens in the rest of your body as you do this. So for me, I notice myself being more upright, taller, more elongated spine, nice long neck. This is a good stance for me. This helps my body to respond in a way that's sustainable for good posture. So I might think about using this in the future when I'm walking, when I'm standing for a while, just working it into my day, brushing my teeth, doing the dishes, and then just go ahead and let that go. Okay, so you're at the top of your mat. Let's move into our next pose. So we're going to keep the right leg forward, left foot steps back. And we're going to do like your feet are in two parallel lines here. So there's space between the feet, space this way, space this way. And we're going to bring the right knee right over top of the right ankle. Go ahead and get your balance here. We're going to try to keep the pelvis square to the front edge of the yoga mat. And we're going to keep that knee bent. So if you're greater than 90-degree angle, at a 90-degree angle, wherever feels right for your body so that you can be successful in this next challenge. And maybe next time you do this video, you can make it a little bit harder for yourself, but give yourself the grace to maybe start with something a little bit easier. Okay, so square pelvis. Let's introduce a little bit of movement with this. So lift your toes and then gently rest them back down. We're not going to let ourselves grip through the toes on the yoga mat, but we are going to lift the heel and then slowly lower back down. So to do this without gripping through the toes is challenging. We're going to lift the heel and lower back down. Tight tummy. Don't lose form here. Lift the heel, lower back down. Lift the heel, lower back down. Notice the knee shaking, totally okay. Again, this is working with the neuromuscular education, working your nervous system into your strengthening practice. And then let's try, go ahead and let that relax. Let's try bending the left knee and coming back up. So left heel is lifted. We're going to bend that left knee and come back up. Straight left knee. Bend that left knee, lower down, straighten that left knee, come back up. Let's try two more. Good. All right. Let's step the left foot forward and keep a bend through the knees here. This is chair pose. You can add in arms going up towards the ceiling, or you can put your hands on your hips. See if you can sink a little bit deeper. And then as you inhale, we're going to straighten the knees and then lift up onto your tiptoes. And then come back down, sit butt back. Keep your knees above the ankles. Try not to let them come forward over the toes. It just puts too much strain on your knees and can cause some knee problems or pain. So we're really mindful about keeping the knee above the ankle and sitting your butt back like you're going into a chair. Arms can be wherever, out to the side, whatever you need. Sit down a little bit further. Breathe through and then stand up, lifting all the way up onto your toes as you squeeze your buns at the top. Good. Lower down. We're going to do one more time. Sitting your butt back. Knees stay on top of ankles. No gripping through the toes. So go ahead and lift them up and then gently place them back down on the mat if you need to. Nice tight tummy. We're working here. Sink a little bit deeper if you are able. And then on an inhale, stand up nice and tall. Squeeze your buns at the top and come up onto tiptoes. Good. Come back down on the heels. And then we're going to keep our left foot forward and our right foot is going back. Again, we're in parallel lines here, not like a warrior pose. Right heel is lifted. Left knee is sitting on top of the left ankle. We're going to square the pelvis with the front of the yoga mat. That's the front edge there. And we're going to think about head back over the spine, shoulder blades down your back. Tight tummy, and from here we're going to lift the heel and lower back down. Lift the heel, lower back down. Remember, we are not gripping through our toes. We are simply raising and lowering the heel, keeping that knee over top of the ankle. There's not really a forward and back rock with this one. It's just up and down. Noticing shaking is completely normal. Just try to slow down your motion and really control it. And when you feel you've done enough of that, we're going to dip the right knee, bend the right knee, dip down towards the ground, and come back up. So if you'll notice my left leg, the knee isn't really coming forward and back, it's just bending more or less as I dip down and come back up. So I'm not really putting the strain on my knee by bringing it forward, like towards my toes. Just going up and down by bending that right knee and then straightening it out. One more. Great, we're going to step that back up. And then you can stay at the top of your yoga mat. I'm going to turn and face you. Our last pose is another balancing pose. It's called Stork. So we're going to get our feet ready by bringing our big toes together. You want your second toe pointing forward. And let's shift our weight onto the right foot. So that means just kind of bending the left knee and bringing the ankle in a relaxed position. When you feel like you've got that pretty good, go ahead and lift the left knee and the toes. So toes stay lifted towards the left knee. And we're going to just try to keep our hip at 90 degrees. Hands on your hips for balance, support. Tight tummy. Pelvis level. Try not to let your left hip either drop or be raised up. We want to create this level pelvis. So if you want to use like your pants, the top waistband of your pants as a gauge, you'll want that to be level with the ground. Lift the toes of your right foot and gently place them back down. It helps to stare at a point on the ground in front of you. And if you're not already down, let's go ahead and switch sides. You can work that out little baby steps. And then toes together. Shift your weight onto the left foot. Prepare your mind and your body. Lift the right knee so that it is at the same height as your right hip. We want 90 degrees at your hip, 90 degrees at your knee, and 90 degrees at your ankle too. Toes are lifted up towards the knee. Lift the toes of your left foot and gently place them back down. Remember to keep a level pelvis, not dropping that right hip either towards your thigh or lifting it up. And breathe. Tight tummy. Head back. Great job. Okay, go ahead and lower that down. And then we're going to come all the way down to laying on our backs. So however you can get there. It is important to finish your yoga practice with some relaxation. It is as important as doing the practice itself, because it allows your body a chance to integrate the strength and the stretch that you just achieved and let your body kind of figure out what that means. So make any adjustments that you need in order to be comfortable, either laying on your back or on your side or sitting in a chair. I invite you to close your eyes, take some deep breaths, and be very aware of what's going on inside your body. I invite you to call to mind 3 blessings in your life, 3 things for which you are thankful. Notice how your body feels as you think of these 3 things. And remember, you can always access that feeling by simply being grateful and leaning on those blessings. Continue to breathe at your normal pace. You may continue to meditate on those blessings, or you can let them float away as you let your mind slip into a peaceful state, aware and attentive, but not focused and concentrating. Many people think it helps to focus their attention on the breath or pay attention to the breath. It's very centering. And then as you feel ready, we're going to make our way onto our sides. Push up into sitting in a cross-legged seat. Option to return to that self-massage of the feet here. Nice tight tummy still activating. We're simply coming to stillness. Thank you for practicing with me today. The light and spirit in me honors and appreciates the light and spirit in you. May peace be with you.